Hey, I'm Andy Bohan. I'm a workshop creator. I make a lot of cool content in the workshop, like custom games, turning characters giant, tiny, that sort of stuff. I also do the World Cup team for Ireland, as you can see in the background there, and I'm really interested in charity when it comes to Down Syndrome Ireland. I'm really happy that Gladiators gave them this chance to make a mode for them. The Overwatch Workshop is a custom game system like you used to have in games like Counter-Strike or Garry's Mod, where you can basically create your own experience. You can make it so your character can fly at 5,000 miles an hour, or you can add little tiny tanks to Hammond if you wanted to. It's really kind of endless, the possibilities. Process usually with the workshop is, I wonder if I could add May's gun to Moira and make it so she fires out orbs that shoot tiny Mays or something like that. For me, like maybe an hour or 2 hours later, you've got a weird mode that people are like, what the hell is going on there? For other modes, for like the longer modes, like say the tiny Hammond tanks thing that I made for the Gladiators,
Kill this guy.
it can take, up to like say 10 hours or something to do it because there's a lot more scripting involved. You can go from fun idea to cool workshop mode in a matter of an hour or two. The workshop community is mainly focused around the Discord. Workshop.codes/Discord is a brainstorming channel. So say you come in, you have an idea, you want to execute it, but you're not sure how to do it. They can help you out. You can go to the script help channel. They can help you out as well. It's a really sort of positive community in terms of giving each other a helping hand when you need it. The workshop is purely just cooperation, collaboration, that sort of stuff. It's a really positive, sort of nice community to be in.
Подходят со стока! Возьми двух лучших бойцов и попробуй прорвать их оборону в том районе! Давай!
There's a famous VR chat meme, like this red Knuckles from Sonic, and he's just driving around in this tank and he's like screaming out Russian lines from like, I think like Call of Duty. And I was like, man, I want to make that in the workshop. And the process of making the tank was actually fairly simple. I made it in a 3D program called Blender. From there, I had like the little layers of the tank, like the little grapple beams that the tank is made out of, which are actually the Junkrat grapple beams that when you get attached to the trap, and you move away from it, there's a really small little grapple beam that attaches to you if you want to move too far, and that's what the tank is actually made out of. So I have the 3D model of the tank, I have the grapple beams. You combine them using a script called Delton's Overwatch script to workshop. From there I was thinking about like, so I have the Hammond tank, I have that sort of basic thing. How do I make that into a fun game mode? One of the issues a lot of workshop creators, and even myself, run into sometimes is we overcomplicate things. I have those prompts for the theme, like the purple and white and the shields. And from there, I'm like, what can I do in the workshop that's kind of fun, simple, but like isn't going to get overcomplicated and cause the server to crash, for example? Well, I've got tiny Hammond tanks, so when I have tiny shields, how about we make the Hammond save the Reinhardts in their tanks? And there's something there. So I had to find a map that was like balanced for both teams, but you weren't spending most of the time in your spawn. So I decided to split Busan City down the center and make it so the objectives are on either side of it.
Kill cap! Come on! Allow me. Kill cap!
Down Syndrome Ireland is the biggest charity for Down syndrome people within Ireland, and they provide a lot of services to families and kids and even adults with Down syndrome. You may not think immediately of when you think of, what are the supports required for Down syndrome, because a lot of the supports for Down syndrome are around the actual family themselves. They do parent groups where parents talk to other parents that have grown up with Down syndrome kids. Some of the stuff that Down Syndrome Ireland offers is supports for those parents and supports for those families. Why I chose the charity was my little sister Ellen, she actually has Down syndrome, and I know that from seeing the workers that work at these charities, they do great work. They're some of the kindest people ever. It's definitely a worthy cause for people to support. Some of the services that Down Syndrome Ireland offers are super essential to families, like they do education therapy, they do sports and life skills, because at the end of the day, for a lot of the kids with Down syndrome, they need to learn those life skills, like things we take for granted, like getting on a bus. For a Down syndrome kid, that's a huge ordeal. The charity is doing a lot of amazing work across Ireland, and I think especially with the pandemic that's just hit, considering they take a lot of their donations through live events, things like this, like esport companies, esports events can do a lot to help out and bridge that gap that's been created with the pandemic.
Oh my god, bro! Oh my god, come on!
I'm very grateful that Gladiators gave me a chance to talk about Down Syndrome Ireland here. I really appreciate that. The esports audience isn't usually one that charity like Down Syndrome Ireland is exposed to. Even the awareness that esports raises for charities is amazing, because those charities, especially like I said in this pandemic, they rely on awareness, they rely on people donating. Gladiators giving me this chance to talk about Down Syndrome Ireland is absolutely great. Like I really appreciate it.